During my review copy readathon, I was working my way through Splintered by A.G. Howard, sort of a Alice in Wonderland type retelling. Our main character, Alyssa Gardner, is sort of a distant descendant of Alice Liddell, who was the inspiration for Lewis Carroll's story of Alice in Wonderland. And apparently her stories might not have been as strange or bizarre as Alyssa would have thought, because Alyssa herself is hearing the thoughts and words from plants and animals. She can hear them speak. And this sort of starts, I think right around when she hits like puberty or so. So she begins to think that she's going crazy, like her mother, who is currently in institution, and her grandmother, who tried to jump out a window thinking she could fly. She's thinking this sort of curse has now fallen upon her. She comes to find out that there is truly a Wonderland and ends up going down the rabbit hole, so to speak. Her friend Jeb ends up following her, and together the two are sort of on this journey to sort of right the wrongs that her previous generations have done to Wonderland and kind of reverse this curse. She also encounters this strange being by the name of Morpheus. He's sort of like a moth-like character, but he can also change into human characteristics. He's apparently appeared to her before in her dreams and kind of explained Wonderland to her through her dreams. And turns out this is sort of an actual real person. And he kind of becomes like their guide through Wonderland, but you don't know if he's good or evil through quite a lot of the book. So it was really, really intriguing. I love the writing style. I can't wait to pick up the next one. I want to say it's called Unhinged. I forgot now, but the covers are just absolutely gorgeous. I'll probably have to get a finished copy of this one, but I gave this one 5 stars. Then I read an adult novel by the name of The Butterfly Sister by Amy Gale Hansen. I did a full review on this one on my channel again, and sort of like Gillian Flynn's Gone Girl in terms of the plot twists that take place. There's a missing person involved, and this girl who has kind of obsessed with books written by or about women who have committed suicide, and she starts to see like what's the author's name? Virginia Woolf, and she starts to see like these authors like walking around as if they are alive. She thinks she's going insane, and even attempts suicide, and leaves the school and ends up being drawn back into this school where this missing person had attended, and it was a fellow classmate of hers, and she ends up being drawn into this really bizarre story. And I loved all the plot twists. Like I said, it's just like Gillian Flynn's Gone Girl. You think it's going one way, and bam, I was like thrown for a loop, and just really great writing. I flew through it. I gave this one 5 stars. In terms of graphic novels, I also read Saga, Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Brian K. Vaughan is the creator of the Y the Last Man series, so I thought for sure I would like this a lot more than I did. This is Volume 1. I've heard it gets better as it goes, so I'm hoping it will. I mean, I like the whole Romeo and Juliet kind of storyline about these two main characters. I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of detail because I did do a review along with Sweet Tooth with this particular one here, so you can go check out the more details. But artwork-wise was okay for me, but it seemed a little drawn out, and some of the other side characters weren't as interesting as just our two main characters and what's happening with them. I was more fascinated by their storyline and a little distracted by the others. So overall, I just gave this one 3 stars. Then I also read Mila 2.0 by Deborah Driza during my review copy readathon. Love this book. This is, I guess, in a way sci-fi-ish, but it's about this girl named Mila. About 4 weeks ago, she moved to a new town with her mother. Her father died tragically in some kind of fire that she sort of barely remembers a lot of details about her past. But they moved to this new town, and Kaylee, I think her name was, a girl at the school befriends her right away, and she sort of made you feel welcome. She's still kind of a quiet girl. She's still troubled by flashes of memory she has of her father, and kind of pretty much keeps to herself and just with her friend Kaylee around. Then this mysterious boy named Hunter shows up, and Kaylee's immediately attracted to him, and Mila, is kind of pulled along, and one day Mila and Hunter end up meeting together. They seem there's something kind of in common that they have with each other, both being sort of the outsider and kind of quiet, and they start talking, and Kaylee right away gets kind of jealous. I didn't like her character very much, to be quite honest. One day the two are traveling in her pickup, and they see Hunter on the side of the road. She pulls over to give him a ride, makes Mila go sit in the back of the pickup. Then she drives like a maniac, and Mila goes flying out the back of the pickup. I mean, she could have gotten killed. She only injures her arm, but when the three of them see her arm, they're totally shocked because it's not blood or anything or skin tissue. It's like wires and mechanics and stuff underneath the skin. So right away they're like, even Mila, she's shocked. She has no idea what is going on. She expects to see blood and like she's not really in any pain or anything. It's just bizarre. And she goes home and eventually has to tell her mother, who's very overprotective about her all the time, not letting her do a lot of stuff. And this is the reason why, because she's been keeping a secret from Mila. Mila's not actually human. She's shocked. I mean, this is nothing that's not basically stated on the back of the book. She's absolutely shocked. She, doesn't quite believe her mother at first. She thinks she's crazy. She tells Hunter that it's just a prosthesis, but her friend Kaylee's like telling stories all over the school, and she starts getting bullied and everything. It's really quite horrible, but the thing is, her mother has kept this secret from her and has kept her hidden all this time to protect her because there are people out to capture her. She wanted Mila to have a life and everything, even though, she believes she's human. So she wanted her to have a decent life and not go through all these experiments and things that the people are looking to capture her for. So it's basically her and her mother on the run at this point, trying to stay hidden from those that want her. And so she wants to stay in contact with Hunter, and lots of crazy things happen. It was just very intense and really drew me in, and I just flew through this book. I mean, it seems fairly big, but it's pretty wide spacing on the text, and like I said, I just loved every minute of it. I can't wait to pick up the sequel to this. I give this one 5 stars. And I tried a new graphic novel. This is The Unwritten by Tommy Taylor. This is, I'm sorry, not by Tommy Taylor. This is The Unwritten, Tommy Taylor and the Bogus Identity, Volume 1, by Mike Carey and Peter Gross. So what it is the story of a boy named Tom Taylor. His father, Wilson, created this fantasy epic story, a series of books based on a character by the name of Tommy Taylor. So people kind of believe that his son, Tom Taylor, is sort of like the living, breathing main character from these novels. And his father, Wilson, has disappeared, and Tom kind of goes on these conventions and things like that for the book, and he signs the books and stuff. People are asking him all these questions, thinking he's like this real character, but he tries to explain, no, I'm just the son, and where's your father, and all this stuff. And then someone makes some claim that maybe he is not actually the son of Wilson Taylor. And people start to think he's a fraud, and they're going after him and all this stuff. So now he's in a desperate search to try and find his father, and it draws him into the very strange world of the books that his father has written, and they're not exactly fictitious. Really nice artwork, kind of great color tones and stuff, and lots of creepy things happening that he uncovers in his father's past. A strange house that he used to stay in, secret room, and also give you an idea. That's like a character for one of his father's books, and lots of bizarre stuff starts happening. I absolutely love this one. I've already picked up volume 2, and I'll show that in the haul, but I can't wait to see what happens next. Definitely recommend picking this one up. Then I gave it 4 stars. I also read volume 6 of Why the Last Man. This one, we finally find out why Yorick, our main character, is immune to this virus that's killed all the male population on Earth. And it was kind of an interesting revelation. Can't wait to see what happens after that. I haven't been able to track down volume 7 yet, so not sure when it'll be when I can continue this, but hopefully soon. I give this one 5 stars. Only 2 more books, almost done. I read Lauren Kate's Teardrop. This is part of a new series. This is an advanced copy from my review copy readathon. I have a hit or miss kind of with Lauren Kate. With the whole Fallen series, interesting concept, interesting characters, slow as heck. Really slow pace. This is basically the same for me. We have our main character, Eureka Boudreaux. She's traveling along with her mother in a car, and a rogue wave kind of sweeps the car off the bridge, And her mother's swept away, never to be found, and Eureka's luckily saved. But it's taken quite a toll on her. She's even attempted suicide a few times, but sort of trying to get her life back together. She has a couple good friends. Kat, I think, was one of her friends, and a boy named Brooks, who's I think a neighbor, but a close friend of hers as well. And then one day, this strange boy named Anders shows up. You know, he actually runs into the back of her vehicle, damaging it and stuff. When they're both on their way to a track meet, she's trying to decide if she's going to continue with track or not. This is after all these events have taken place. And he claims he's on the opposing team. He's not who he claims to be. She keeps finding him, keeps turning up everywhere, and no one seems to know who he is or anything. There's something very mysterious about this boy. And then her friend Brooke starts acting very strange, very hostile, very kind of possessive of her, especially when Anders is around. Lots of bizarre things happen. Then she attends the reading of the will of her, reading of her mother's will. And she's left like this teardrop necklace and a strange book with bizarre writing that no one can read. It's like some other language, and becomes like a search to kind of find out what this is. Her mother was a bit of an archaeologist and stuff, so she's trying to find out why her mother left this particular book. And who was this Ander boy? It turns out as we find out kind of fairly early, and kind of the way it's worded on the back, so no spoilers or anything. He's from a race of beings called seed bearers, and they believe that a female within her family line may have the ability to raise the city of Atlantis with a single tear. And they want to stop that at all costs. They feel that will be the end of the world, totally destroy the world, and to end up preventing that, they try to kill her, and they're the ones that caused this rogue wave to sweep the vehicle off the bridge. And Ander, someone who has been watching her all of her life, and was supposed to ensure that this actually happened, but he became kind of attached to her, watching her grow and all this, and ends up being the one that saved her. So he's at odds with his family. He's trying to protect her from them as they continue to try to kill her off. But as interesting as the story goes, she doesn't find out a lot of this stuff for most of the book. So much, a lot of other things happen and things, but it's just so dragged out. In terms of, it's just like Fallen. It was, it's a fairly quick book here, but it was just so slow. Things move so slowly and frustratingly, and she puts herself in these situations where I didn't understand, when she starts to get a little afraid of Brooks, and then she ends up on a boat with him, with her, two twin half-brother and sister. I mean, why would you put them in a dangerous situation like that? It's two young kids, and you're on a boat, and you don't quite trust Brooks now. You don't know what's going on with him. She does a lot of stupid things, and I found it frustrating. And like I said, the pacing of the book, overall, I just gave this one 3 stars. I don't know that I'll continue with the series. It just didn't really appeal to me that much. Then the last book, Asylum by Madeline Rue. I was in the mood for something horror. Keep seeing this book sitting on my shelf, looking kind of like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, with all the really cool, creepy photographs in it. Absolutely love that. It just set the right kind of creepy atmosphere. It's about a boy named Daniel Crawford. He attends New Hampshire College Prep during the summer. He's also kind of a quiet, keep to himself kind of guy, except for his bizarre roommate Felix he meets. And then he ends up meeting, oh my god, let me get the names right. Abby and, I want to say, Jordan, yes. Abby and Jordan. They ended up traveling up to the school together, so they've kind of met already. And he ends up meeting them, and the 3 of them sort of form this bond. They hang out a lot together. They go to lunch together. They try and take some classes together. They start to be referred to as the Hydra, like some 3-headed being that ends up together all the time. Shortly after their arrival and meeting, they end up kind of exploring the school. They find out from Felix that there's some office area that had these photos, because Daniel finds a photo of the person with his eyes all crossed out, really strange, in his desk drawer. So Felix says, well, you should go check out this office and stuff. I think there's maybe more photos in there. And so they kind of sneak into these areas that are supposed to be off limits. And these are areas of the school. See, the school their main dormitory is under construction. So the kids are all being housed in the former asylum on the estate. And yeah, how creepy is that? You want to stay in a former asylum. But they are exploring into these areas of the asylum that they're not supposed to go to. And once there, lots of strange things seem to start happening to them. They start suffering from nightmares and things, and strange pictures and notes start showing up, kind of threatening, and just a lot of bizarre, creepy things. It had a really nice tone throughout the entire book. My only there was a little, I don't want to say cringeworthy, is the best way to describe it. Some of the dialogue in the very, very beginning, just the beginning, when they first arrive, and between some of the guys, just seemed like something I wouldn't expect guys to talk that way, or about emotions or something. It was just like, really, I hope it doesn't continue in this mode, and it didn't fit right. But then everything was fine after that. I didn't have any problems with it. My only other concern was why a school needs to renovate their dorms, and yet they house the kids in an asylum that's been abandoned for like the past 50 years. Is that in any better condition than the dorms were? Seemed a bit odd. So just for those two aspects, I kind of knocked it down a star. But I love this book. I really had to set the right tone and give me a nice creepy feel to it. Had a real interesting plot through it, and characters. I love the characters. Yeah, I think there's a sequel coming out to this one too, so I can't wait to kind of delve into that. But I gave this one 4 stars. So hopefully this wasn't too long. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And yeah, it's a really great reading month. I hope to continue on that mode. We'll see. I did push myself a little bit, like I said, with the readathon, so that definitely helped. But and of course a lot of graphic novels. So hopefully you guys find something you want to add to your TBRs. And yeah, if you've read any of these, let me know what you thought about them. And I will see you in my next video. Probably going to be a book haul. So we'll see. Take care and happy reading.